Welcome everybody! Ulrich Behner and myself will give you insights what we see as a base for comprehensive optimization by digital transformation in your factory. Could you imagine this situation? Maybe from your TV rack in your private home or from the cables under your desk in the office. Sure, each of these cables has its own purpose. For example, the well-known inch chuck plug for connecting the headphones. This cable was developed exactly for this use case. But unfortunately, it's not possible to charge your battery of your mobile phone nowadays, or further features you need today. Maybe you are wondering now, okay, that's all clear in this case of hardware, of these cables, but how does this apply to the case of optimization in my factory? Specifically for me in the manufacturing and intralogistics area. Well, we will try to explain this to you, what we understand there. Imagine three different situations in your production. First, on the left, there's a smart employee responsible for the efficiency on the shop floor. And now with the possibilities of Industry 4.0, he is searching for a solution to get more transparency. He wants to have the knowledge of the current line output, the OEE calculation, the error statistics of the machines. All these KPIs directly on the mobile device on a fingertip. So he found a solution which fits perfectly for these requirements, as software solutions optimized for this use case. And the second situation, in the middle here, a further person from the quality department. She needs help to avoid mistakes systematically. And she finds the answer with a special solution package for this usage. And last but not least, an expert from the area of the internal logistics. He is searching for help with the plant internal material flow. Well, he also received a good hint from the colleague and found a tool which helps you with exactly that questions. So in these three cases, three different solutions. Everything all fits perfectly to the need of the user, and compared with the cables, a cable perfectly for charging of your device, another for the sound of the headphones, and so on. Three cables in use, do you think that should be handleable? There is an additional challenge which you should be aware of. Currently, just coming to the next page here. Perfectly, which you should be aware in case you find your decision. Please think about your IT administrator and the IT department. Software needs operations, maintenance, and you have interfaces to other software systems. What does this mean? For every single system from a provider, you will have different requirements. They run on different operating systems. The one on a Linux operating system, the other maybe on a Windows. Or you have to provide third-party licenses, like a license for a database management system in the background. And in all likelihood, you also need interfaces to your enterprise IT, such as ERP systems or other central applications to exchange information. And each solution comes normally implemented with its own master data, which must be added several times by the admins. All this comes with the result of an increase of errors or higher expenses. And last but not least, there is also a hurdle for the users itself. There is usually an overlap of people using the multiple software packages. At the end of the day, one user must work with different systems in parallel, each with an own user portal with a different address or link, and each with its own concept for navigation and usage. And maybe if it's not compatible for single sign-on, the IT department must provide several systems for authorization, authentication, and they have to log in several times to the applications. And if you are in an international company with the manufacturing sites all over the world, the challenge will definitely increase. You can see here this on the map on the next page. Let's go back to the first three scenarios previously mentioned. These three groups of people are looking for the optimal solution. Every guy or colleague in his area. of the local region. This means that in Asia they found another provider for the intralogistics purpose, or in Europe another supplier for the same use case. So it could happen that you end up with a set of variants of solutions worldwide within your company. And here within the map marked with the different colored bubbles, you can see the number of software is definitely increasing. And keep in mind, you can't compare results of each solution, and the transfer from a production site A to B is always getting more complicated if you have different software systems in place in the locations.
Okay, Tino, you have now described all the challenges for the users, for the IT department, for various people, and then scaling it to the whole world. What are the possibilities? How could a solution look like to tackle that? What do we offer for that?
Yeah, we will see this on the next page, or 2 pages further. One more, please. We think it's necessary to have one system which covers functionality for specific use cases in one, so that the users receives the right information at the right time in the right quality. And we have implemented this everything together with the Nexeed Industrial Application System. Yeah? Here we will see it. We have some technical issues here in parallel, but just a second. What you can see here with the Nexeed Industrial Application System, or normally you should see it. Just this. Okay. What you can see here, we do this with the Nexeed Industrial Application System, and we covered the complete modular approach of the system in 5 different areas. Yeah? Currently, we have different topics. That's the right one? Okay, perfectly. So, yeah, with shop floor management, in the blue one from left to the right, we can have the possibilities to get transparency of the lines, to see directly what's ongoing, to see the KPIs of the shop floor. With the second one, product and quality, we cover all the needs for the product quality in your production itself. And with the third one, machine and equipment, we bring all the topics for minimalization of the downtimes together, so that we have everything on hand within this feature. Yeah? And let's go further with the fourth topic. We put everything together in the intralogistics context. Transport management, stock management, we will see later in an example, will be together in the intralogistics area. And last but not least, further MES functionalities like the production orders or the control of the material production flow will come up next with the fifth one, the cluster of execution. And we also think of the IT administrator, colored with the gray boxes on the right, with modules such as the common master data management or modules for the single sign-on, the web portal, the common user management, everything covered in this operating base. So, sounds good? Let's have a look on the principles of this system. How does this work? Well, I think you can see the next page. How does this look like? Modular, expandable. So, sounds good, great words. Let's have a semantic view. Here I got it in big perfectly. We have different modules clustered in this area of use as mentioned before. The green marked here. And each of these modules bring its own functionality, and all of them are based on an operating base with the same data layer and so on. And on the top of each module, you can see the Open Application Programming Interface, or in short, the APIs. These are used to get a data exchange between those modules. And by design, with the Nexeed Industrial Application System, it's also expandable. expandable by further modules, here marked on the right with a module X, for example, with a new functionality, or expandable by new extensions, which you can see on the top, based on existing modules that you just do, you or your partner do extensions based on the existing Nexeed IAS system. Yeah. But Ulrich, we see this before. You talked about the Bosch platform before in the master classes. Yeah, we talk a lot of theory here. Let's come back to the practice. Maybe you can give us some insights. How does Bosch do this now?
Yeah, sure, I can do this. As you said, and as I described in the masterclass, the Nexeed IAS, the Nexeed Industrial Application System, is the core of the BMLP. It makes the BMLP possible, the Bosch Manufacturing and Logistics platform. And on the left-hand side, you see the different layers of the Bosch Manufacturing and Logistics platform. On the right-hand side, you see how the IAS contributes into that. On the left hand, you have the connectivity layer of the BMLP and the platform core of the BMLP. Connectivity to all the machines and third-party systems. Platform core is the part of, or is fulfilling the requirements that all the applications and modules have, all the functionality modules have in common, like user management, like master data management. Mainly things that the IT department needs and the user needs for usability. And on the top side, you see the Bosch United Portal, which is realized by the IAS web portal. It's also part of this space. But now you will ask, where are the functions of the BMLP? You find them in the middle part, in the middle layer. That's the application layer and the data services. All the green and blue manufacturing and logistics pieces and modules you find there with their functionalities. But what you also see, and that's in addition to what Tino has shown before, is the purple boxes. Those are the ones that we do not provide by the Nexeed IAS, but other providers put and integrate onto the operating base of the BMLP using the APIs, actually.
Okay.
So now coming to the next page, which will show us examples, first within the Bosch group. So first, it's about transparency. If you want to optimize something and continuously, then you need to have transparency. Otherwise, you don't know what to optimize. The Bosch Powertrain Solutions division, Andreas is from there in the masterclass, has this requirement for more than 550 lines in more than 30 plants all around the world. And they use the Nexeed IAS Global Production Overview module. What they get is they get key production indicators, they get comprehensive reports, so they can identify and transfer best practices between the different plants in the production network. And the next one is tackling intralogistics requirements. So what you actually need if material needs to flow, you need to have efficiency in that and also flexibility, because you always have change in demand. To increase both, Bosch has, the Bosch plants use two IAS modules. One is the stock management, which always gives you transparency of what is happening in your intelligent supermarkets, like in the Feuerbach plant. And the transport management is able to reroute milk run routes based on the pull that the different machines have for material, depending on the types of production running on there. Tino, do you have any other examples from outside of Bosch?
I also have an example from another customer. He was optimizing his paint shop area, and there was one requirement: less downtime, reduced costs, or lower costs. And exactly there, we set up the Nexeed condition monitoring, to receive the data from temperatures, from pressures, what we have, get these processes, compare it, visualize, and then we can act directly for the maintenance guys so they can exchange a filter before it's going to clock, and we can act very quickly and reduces the expenses for the operation there. That was one example of the condition monitoring. And next to other customers, I will also highlight another feature. We integrated also artificial intelligence directly into the Nexeed IIS modules. So let's call it like a built-in functionality. And here you can see it. It's one example of a current proof of concept or pilot phase we are doing, that we detect an anomaly detection directly in the production, in the manufacturing process, without any programming skills. So the result will be visualized for the user in the web portal, and we can send notifications directly to the operator. And we plan to integrate this feature with the next release of Nexeed IIS. So to summarize, single solutions are already available on the market. Definitely, you will find them. Let's check this. But to keep an eye also on the overall story. First of all, think about the user itself. One common user interface, an HMI, is very important with the continuous navigation concept, single sign-on, and so on, all the topics I mentioned before. And from the technical point of view, please keep an eye on a modular approach. Is it possible to have the step-by-step introduction directly based on your requirements and needs? Is it expandable? So that either you or others, partners, can add further extensions, other functionalities there. And is it open for extensions, so that based on the existing one, with open APIs, you can extend it by yourself? And last but not least, the availability of this software. Is it available in all your locations, production sites worldwide? If you have this in mind, this should be, from our understanding, a perfect base for a comprehensive and sustainable organization, optimization with the connected manufacturing. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we can have a look on questions that you ask. Go to the Ask button and ask questions. Could you show us this other page with not yet questions in the channel? Let's wait for a second. So maybe we can... Yeah, okay. So what are the main USPs regarding Nexeed for external companies? Since I sell that internally, I can answer that question maybe also for external companies. So when you have that question, I think what we have is a portfolio of functions, and you've seen like 4 big areas of use, a 5th one coming up, which are comprehensive and consistent, and it's a broad portfolio. And at the same time, it is able to cope with data from different locations, from different sources, and provide them to the different functionalities in all those various areas of use. And also we have a vertical integration from the machine, connecting through the controls, automation, but up to the cloud, to the user interfaces. All of that is possible. And we run it at Bosch, so we can tell you it helped our journey for digital transformation. Maybe
I will take the next one. How can I profit from the BMLP if I'm not a Bosch supplier? Well, the BMLP, as mentioned from Ulrich before in the masterclass, or we showed it as a reference also here in this class, this was done for Bosch. Bosch is using Nexeed IIS and did also some extension as shown, the purple ones. This is the BMLP, and you can also have the profit out of it in just getting Nexeed IRS directly. So one of our big customers call it BMLP, but we also have it directly.
Yeah, what else do we have? How will Nexeed develop further, and how will client requirements be taken into account? Maybe I start and then you take over. So one thing is we have a consulting offering to customers, and we can also from that consulting come into UX, user experience and design thinking process to understand better your requirements. Then how is that taken into the development of the IAS or various
all this feedback could come from sales, from your sales colleagues. It could be from an UX design thinking workshop with the customers, will be collected, will come in a backlog, will be prioritized by the product development, and then will be increased into the Nexeed portfolio, because we strongly believe in having the broad functionality available within the system.
So the functionality is still and ever will grow, right? It's still growing and is ever always growing.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right. Another one.
Do we also have a question in the other two channels?
Okay, but there is one that we have. How far has the Nexeed system got concerning artificial intelligence and what is to come on that end?
I showed one reference, the last one is a forecast. Artificial intelligence, we think there are two ways of handle this. On the one hand, sure, there are experts available, and we think we have all the information on hand, so we deliver this information to further to others, so they can work with that directly and having the artificial intelligence outside. But we also strongly believe that AI must be integrated within the Nexeed IAS modules, the built-in functionality as I showed before. And there's the one example I showed, and there's a second idea currently ongoing in the case of the transport management, which you showed with the example with these milk runs optimizations, that we would like to implement AI algorithm directly into the Nexeed IAS.
Yeah, and maybe I can add, if you already have experience or success with analyzing your data and creating artificial intelligence out of your data, out of usage, then we're definitely very much interested into getting those results and those possibilities into putting those into functions that could run on your IT within a possible module that could be part of the IAS.
Mm-hmm. We also received another question just to clarify. Nexeed is one solution, Bosch IoT Suite is a different one. Yes, that's right. The Nexeed Industrial Application System is the answer for the connected manufacturing and intralogistics. Bosch IoT Suite is more the generic answer, not specifically for exactly this use case. We implement directly all the functionalities directly and offer this as the Nexeed IAS.
Yeah.
And there is also one question regarding the deployment of the software. Currently, Nexeed IAS could be deployed on-premise as well as in the cloud. So in a public cloud, both is available. Yeah. And I mentioned before that we would like to increase it with the execution cluster, with the so we need more and more real-time functionality. Those modules will only be available on-premise in the first stage.
Right.
So I think that's important.
So I think
we are nearly finished.
Right. Thank you very much also for your questions, and have a good day, good evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you.